So Monday Night Raw for January 16th, 2017, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, well, his birthday, observed and celebrated for most people anyway. Yeah, it started with the, picture of Superfly Jimmy Snuka, because, he passed away, and of course there'll be stuff on that later on in the evening. And then they play a video package tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. and they do that every year. So again, appropriate. But then they get on to Roman Reigns. He comes out, the former United States champion, and he says he's not complaining, and then he says no one can beat him one-on-one. Okay. Anyway, I'll call Paul Heyman because he announced that, Brock Lesnar is going to be here. And so he comes out and basically he's like, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. He does his usual stick. He gets Goldberg chants. And it's like, come on. It's funny because as Heyman was entering the ring, he was like, I'm just an advocate. Doing his usually cowardly stick as a manager. Because that's what managers do. That's what they do. That's just it, So that's why when I said that Miz will be a perfect manager, because he bitches and he runs away and he cowers just like that. But anyway, Owens and Jericho come out, of course, with both titles, saying, everyone better watch it. Jericho and that it. That's funny. They talked the main event at WrestleMania, and it's like, the main events at WrestleMania for both Raw and SmackDown are basically up in the air at this point. But it's frightening to know that you could have both Cena and Roman Reigns as champions going into this event. That doesn't suit me. That I'm just like, no, please don't let that shit happen. Please don't let that shit happen unless, well, for Cena's case, if The Undertaker wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Cena, okay, that's fine. But Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble and being challenged by someone like Goldberg, please no. Please no. So, anyway, you have Seth Rollins that comes out and he's like, if you're going to be talking about the main event at WrestleMania, how can you forget about me? I missed WrestleMania last year. I want back in the main event of WrestleMania this year. Yeah, he was the first person to cash in at WrestleMania with his Money in the Bank contract and win the title and scurry out. Yes, that did happen, so he wants back in the main event. Cue Braun Strowman. No words. Good. So he gets down there and he gets in the ring, and next thing you know, the Beast, Brock Lesnar, who hasn't been seen ever since the Survivor Series when he was just, jobbed out by Goldberg in very hilarious fashion. Embarrassing to say the least. What, a minute and 26 seconds? Damn, that's just wrong. To have someone like Brock Lesnar and then get beat like that. But anyway, Brock Lesnar comes down, and Sami Zayn shows up out of nowhere and attacks Braun Strowman. So a brawl breaks out. What interesting about this is that once Brock Lesnar got into this ring, people were getting thrown around. Yes, certain people, got exited out of the ring, like Braun Strowman. But when Brock Lesnar was in there alone, Braun Strowman looked straight at him, and Brock was like, come on. And yes, they baited the crowd a bit. So Braun Strowman, he gets up on the apron and he gets back down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't want to fight him now. It's funny that he'll call out Roman Reigns or Goldberg, but with Brock, no. But anyway, brawl ensues, and yeah, it ends with an F5 given to fucking Reigns. And I'm like, please let that damage linger for 2 weeks. Because I do not want to see Roman Reigns become a Universal Champion. I just don't. It will be ridiculous to me that for the third straight year at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will be headlining it. And in the main event. That wouldn't suit well to me because he shouldn't even been there the fucking first time, to be honest. Even though he was the only one that made sense to go against Lesnar at that point, but he shouldn't have been there. But anyway, Enzo and Cass versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal. Need I say more? Come on, did anyone think that Rusev and Jinder had a chance of winning this? No. So the return of Enzo and Cass in the tag team ranks, fine. At least they didn't overwork the mic like they usually do. But it wasn't even a good match. It was just, satisfactory for a tag match. And the reason being is because, again, we're not supposed to be taking Rusev and Jinder Mahal seriously. We just don't. It's just, okay, any of you, please, if you take Jinder Mahal seriously, please leave a comment below and tell me why. I would like to hear that. So, yeah. Lince Dorado versus Arya Daivari. Cruiserweight match was a standard cruiserweight match, and Arya Daivari actually wins. Now, Jack Gallagher was sitting up in commentary, and there was going to be I forfeit match in between the two on 205 Live. And it's like, I forfeit? Yeah, I can understand the distinguished gentleman, Jack Gallagher. I understand that, but it's still kind of funny. I forfeit. No more. I forfeit. That's going to be funny to me. That's just, yeah. So, the new United Kingdom champion, Tyler Bate. Congratulations. And maybe that belt will, because it's a beautiful belt. But anyway, you have Sasha Banks. Before the show of Raw actually began, before, people start coming to the arena, I guess she was being evaluated, so she was bouncing from rope to rope, and then Nia Jax comes out and basically annihilates her. She ambushes her. Okay, fine. What does that prove? Oh, yeah, you can attack someone when, they're still injured. But Nia Jax was supposed to be this force in the fucking first place, so I don't understand why she would need to fucking do that. And it wasn't even on the fucking show. They had to show footage of what happens hours before, and it's like, fuck. Damn it. So anyway, you have Cesaro and Sheamus versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And it's like, all right, this is for the tag team belts. But it was so funny that this was, yes, a standard tag team championship match. It was a standard tag match altogether. But the climax of the match was when Sheamus was hitting people all over the place and accidentally hit the referee. And when that happened, I was like, I see where this is going. They managed to pin Sheamus. So, again, because another referee came down there and made the count. But as the original referee recovered, he was like, no, this match wins a disqualification because Sheamus hit me. So your winners by disqualification, Anderson and Gallows. So they still don't have tag team gold after all this fucking time. Anyway, Charlotte's going to announce her winning strategy. Seriously? I hate when they do the replay of the beginning segment of the fucking show. I hate when they do that because that wastes a lot of fucking time. That could be backstage segments. That could be matches. It could be even backstage segments of hyping up someone that makes sense or something like that. But they replay some of the show, and I still don't. I don't like that. That's just ridiculous to me. The Superfly Jimmy Snuka tribute. I already made a video about that. Go watch it. Yeah, he earned his name Superfly for a reason. Him jumping off the cage against Don Morocco. Yeah, that's a stamp in wrestling history. And I like the tweets that they showed, with Superfly, with other wrestlers or other people, and pictures and things like that, and RIP. And the one that really touched me was with Superfly and Tamina. They were holding, hands as he was, I guess, on his, his final hours, I guess, and tweeting out. Yeah, good shit. But, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins were in the back. And Sami Zayn is trying to hype them up, and telling them what they need to do, who they need to take out. Braun Strowman, we need to take him out. Yeah, and all that. And he actually puts his fist in. And Reigns and Rollins look at him like, no, we're not doing that. And Roman Reigns has the nerve to say that Zayn is weirder than Ambrose. Listen, Roman Reigns, you have no ammunition to give any fucking criticism to anybody. Period, okay? That's just the way that is. Rich Swann versus Tony Nese. Oh, no, it didn't happen because during a fucking... What they were showing on the Titantron of what happened the week prior, Neville is attacking Rich Swann and beating him down. Tony Nese tries to get into the act, and Neville pulls him off like, no, me. So, as Neville is still trying to beat down Rich Swann, Tony Nese still shows up, and then that's when Neville throws him out of the ring. Okay, so things are starting to break down. Swann fights back, and then gets attacked by Tony Nese. And then Neville throws Nese out, and it's like, and kicks Swann, and it's like, damn it. Anyway, yeah, Neville's gonna get his Cruiserweight Championship title shot, and yeah, he's self-proclaimed the king of the Cruiserweights, and he has a chance to fucking prove it in a good fucking match. Neville, you know, he had his interview, he had his say. In the backstage, and it's like, okay, yeah, step that heeldom. You know, this is what it takes to actually be a fucking heel. You go out and you become a fucking threat. And Neville has fucking done that, regardless of how it looks, how the Cruiserweight division looks as a whole. Neville looks like a fucking threat as a heel. So you have the New Day. The New Day names off Royal Rumble participants and stuff like that. They say foe versus foe, friend versus friend, but it doesn't matter because if one of them wins the Rumble, they all win the Royal Rumble, which really doesn't make any sense. And even though those three have no chance of winning the fucking Royal Rumble, it's not going to happen. We all fucking know that. But Titus O'Neil comes out again and wants to face somebody for their spot in the fucking Rumble. He wants to take a Royal Rumble spot from one of the New Day. So, sparks up Titus O'Neil versus Big E. You know where this is going. Why the fuck did they even fucking do this? A heads and tails would be more of a suspense than this fucking match. Big E wins. Duh. So, is Titus not going to be in a Rumble at all? You mean to tell me that this roster is so fucking stacked that Titus O'Neil doesn't fit whatsoever? Not even as a joke. Not even as to get eliminated by one in a half of a second. Whatever. You mean to tell me that the roster is so thick that there's going to be no Titus O'Neil in the Rumble? Anyway. Charlotte. She comes to the ring to discuss her strategy. Of course, she goes by the generically superior thing again. And she says Bayley is average. And next thing you know, she starts showing Bayley, you know, with pictures with John Cena, Ivory, RVD, Bret Hart, and just, you know, displays her written poems and stuff like that, and starts reading the poems out, and it's like, come on, man, you're first of all, it was a waste of time. You know, just say, you know, whoop her ass and keep your belt and be the queen. Basically, that's all that needed to be said there. We didn't need this history with Bayley. We know that she's dreamed to be a WWE superstar. We know that she's dreamed to be WWE Women's Champion. We know this. That's basically the dream of just about anybody, right? So Bayley comes out pissed saying, yeah, Charlotte, you know, she doesn't have to do this. And Bayley's not embarrassed. As she shouldn't be. That's who she is and stuff, so on and so forth. And makes up like 3 poems about beating Charlotte at the Royal Rumble and becoming champion. Alright. It's just, yeah, they're going to play this storyline. The I belong and you don't. This storyline has been done to death. It has. And, you know, you got Charlotte that grew up in the business and Bayley that's coming into the business because she worked hard to be there, as she said, and she's there, and she's one of the most liked and respected. A Bayley to Bayley can end it. Better watch it, Charlotte. Even though Charlotte is undefeated single competition at pay-per-views, you still better watch it. That could come to an end at the Royal Rumble. But anyway, Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho are talking backstage. And of course, they're like, yeah, take out Rollins, take out Reigns. And Braun Strowman was like, look, I do what I want when I want. After Royal Rumble, I'm going to challenge the champion, whether it's you or whether it is Reigns. And it just storms off. Yeah, okay. Do that. Yeah, just Braun Strowman on the fucking microphone in any segment except for him destroying. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Okay? So, you have Cedric Alexander versus Brian Kendrick. What happened to Brian Kendrick? We can't even take him seriously anymore. He, him being the cruiserweight champion, he wasn't the inaugural cruiserweight champion. And now, him and TJ Perkins, poof, they're just gone. But, yeah, Cedric Alexander actually beats Brian Kendrick, and Alicia Fox actually came out and, tried to interject herself out there and actually distracted Brian Kendrick, and Cedric Alexander ended up winning the match. Now, the funniest thing about this is, after the match, Alicia gets in, Cedric looks like he was about to hug her and totally dissed her and walks away. That was one of the best parts of the fucking show. It just was. It was funny. Alicia Fox, gets dissed again. So you get Nia Jax. They replay the fucking footage again about her taking out Sasha Banks. And Nia's like, yeah, I just broke the boss. Okay. Yeah. Do it in the fucking ring during the fucking match, Nia. Nothing against you, but if you do it then, fine. Charlotte did it. So, why don't you do it? Please. Prove yourself in the fucking ring. And Alicia does not want to talk about what happened to her. Yeah. What happened to you out there? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Bitches be crazy. So you got Kurt Angle in the Hall of Fame of 2017. I already made a video about that. Go watch it. Angle is one of my favorites. He's been one of my favorites for a long time. Congratulations, Kurt Angle. And is he really, really retired? But anyway, so you have the six-man tag between, Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Sami Zayn. Yes, things leading up to the Royal Rumble, you expected things to break down anyway because it's a six-man tag. And they broke things down, and they kind of did it where it was acceptable, especially after the match, which the heels actually fucking won. You had Sami Zayn eat a power slam by Braun Strowman, and that was it. Okay, but after the match, Braun Strowman tries to take, Sami Zayn up to the fucking ramp, and was going to fuck him up even more. But no, Seth Rollins shows up, Roman Reigns shows up, and actually attacks Strowman. Okay, look. Table. Announcer's table that's up the ramp. And chairs, and they were going to try to put him through that fucking table. But no. Yeah, it was chairs and a spear. They're going to try to shield him through this table. No. Owens and Jericho show up and whoop ass, but Jericho eats a fucking pedigree at the top of the fucking ramp. Roman Reigns almost spears fucking KO, but KO had the chair. He takes both Rollins and Reigns out with the chair. And then, what do you know? A powerbomb to Reigns on the fucking table. And that ends the show. With the champion standing tall. Everybody else down. Every once in a while, this needs to happen. Because you gotta hype up your champion. You gotta give your champion some respect. And the champion should fucking close the show. Whether it be the women's champion, or the WWE, or the Universal champion. That's just the way I see that. closing the show out with your champion, because champions are supposed to be the main event, right? And if done correctly and standing tall, you can actually make a fucking impact. So what did you think about this episode of Raw? Was it good? Was it bad? Did they do a Royal Rumble hype justice, so to speak? I mean, yeah, there could be more to be said about this, but now, next week is going to be the going home episode, and they better fucking do that correctly. But this is WWE, you know. Drop kicks, body slams, throwing motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.